All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, depending on which part of the world you're from. I'm based in India currently, so good afternoon for me, from my side at least. And hope you all are doing well. Thank you for joining, first of all. A lot of you joined well in advance, which is very, very uh, appreciated. I would appreciate that a lot. And if we have everyone who joins well on time, we can always get started on time and end on time as well. So everyone has their schedule managed there. So thanks a lot for joining, and we have quite a good bunch of people today. So I'm not very sure if all of you are already into content creation or not, but we're going to be talking about automating content creation today and how AI or AI agents and automation can be helpful for that. So before we get to that, I'll just give you a brief introduction. See, the agenda for today is to talk about content creation. Why is it needed and what are the challenges that we face? And then there's a solution that we've already built using N8 and AI automation. So we'll showcase, we'll take you through the entire automation workflow, and you'll be able to understand how you can use the same workflow to create content for yourself, for your business. And content marketing is kind of the king in this space today, in the marketing space today. So if you can ace content marketing, then there's nothing better than that. So we'll be talking about all those things today. And before we just get to that part, a quick introduction about myself, Malvika, and Event.ai. So I am Varun Poladia from Event.ai. As an organization, we primarily are into AI automation solutions. And today we're going to be talking about one of those automation solutions, which is for content creation. Now, apart from this automation solution, we already have several other solutions that we have also created in the past, and we keep creating different automation solutions on a very regular basis, right? So just to take it through, I'll probably take a minute to take you through some of our previous automation solutions and workflows. So one that we saw a lot of usage and popularity in the market is email personalization workflow, because everyone does email marketing, right? Especially if you are in a B2B business, then your marketing channels are heavily focused on LinkedIn and emails. So the problem with emails is that when you do email campaigns, email outreach campaigns at scale, every email is the same, and then you lack that personalization. Your audience doesn't know exactly what you're trying to talk to them about, and the response rate is very, very low. Your open rates are also low because the content is very similar. Your emails end up in spam quite a lot. So in that case, what happens is your effectiveness or the ROI of the campaign that you're running is not great. So what you've done is we've created a workflow which uses generative AI and a lot of other variables put together, which go into personalizing every email that goes out in reaching out to your audience or as a part of your campaign, right? So let's say if you're sending out even 1,000 emails every day, with this automation workflow, you can personalize. When I say personalize, I mean like at least 90% unique content in every email. That's the kind of hyper personalization that this workflow does, right? So even if you're sending out 1,000 emails every day, each of those emails is going to be hyper personalized and very, 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 very relevant for every person that you're reaching out to. So you're firstly, what we saw for ourselves and one of our customers was also that the open rates doubled, more than doubled in some cases. So that's the power of this personalization of emails, the email content basically, email content and the subject also. Now moving on, the second one that is again very quite popular is inbound marketing automation, which focuses more on getting more backlinks to your website, right? Now getting backlinks, if you all are into, or any of you are into SEO, you would know that getting backlinks is tedious job and it takes a lot of time and manual effort. So what we try to do is automate that process. Oh, cannot see my screen. Is it the same for everyone? Are you guys not able to see my screen?
No, no, we are able to see.
Okay, okay, okay. So Meenakshi, if you're not able to see my screen, Maybe can you just try to rejoin? I assume others are able to see it. So Shiva said yes. Yeah. All right, cool. Thanks a lot. So inbound marketing automation, what does it do is it tries to look for more opportunities or more opportunities of other content all over the internet. Could be blogs, could be forums, where there's content talking about something that's relevant to your business, and there it creates a very hyper personalized and informative content as a comment which is posted, and it brings referral traffic to your website from that website. But so the limitation or the downside is that it has to be done at scale to see good results. The upside is that the upside of this, or the advantage of this automation, is that you can easily do it at scale. So when we did it for ourselves, so here the number is a little different because it's for another customer, but we did it for our own website. We did that exercise just for 1 week, and we saw an increase of 13% in the referral traffic. So that's the kind of power automation brings in, generative AI and automation bring in for your business, right? Then there's CRM enrichment, which essentially what it does is it enriches your CRM with data, which finds or which helps you understand or which helps you discover buying signals, and then prospects based on those buying signals. So you want to know, usually in B2B marketing, what happens is you try to reach out to everyone and then you don't know who has a requirement, right? So here what we do is that we use generative AI to go through the entire internet and look for certain buying signals which can help you deduce that there's this company which has a requirement and you should reach out to them. So instead of reaching out to 1,000 people who you don't know have a requirement or not, you just have to focus on reaching out to maybe 50 people who all of them have a requirement that you can fulfill. So that's what the CRM enrichment automation does. The next one is about converting meeting transcripts into Jira tickets, which is a pretty simple workflow, which is mostly for customer care agents and call centers. So if you're talking to a lot of people, then usually your customer care agent would also have to note down everything while talking to the customer, and then that takes time. That takes time. That also increases human error. And then instead of doing that, what we do is we automate the process. So automatically from the meeting transcript or the recording, it creates Jira tickets, it assigns those tickets to the right people. And then once those tickets are solved, the customer is also automatically informed about it. So that's the kind of automation that this workflow does. Then there's proposal generation automation, which is mostly for, again, services companies. So if you're generating a lot of proposals, right, what happens is it takes anywhere between 2 days to 3 to 4 weeks even to create one proposal for every project that you get. Now, this is something that we also face as a problem, and then as a result of that, what used to happen is that the customer would go to someone else who has given a proposal much faster. So to solve this problem, we've used generative AI, which creates the proposals automatically within a few minutes, or once you input the data, it just takes a few minutes to create the proposal, and you can practically send a proposal to your client within a day, using this kind of automation. So that's what this automation does. Then there's Reddit marketing automation, which is very useful for people who have tried out Reddit marketing, who have also not tried out Reddit marketing. But all of you must know that Reddit is one of the biggest forums over the internet, right? A lot of people talk about businesses. A lot of people seek help from others related to business matters, and people share their requirements, also business requirements, on Reddit across several subs. So what happens is, again, this is an exercise that you will do at scale to get a lot of leads. But then the good part is that you have generative AI here, which is why you can do this process at scale, and it helps you market your business. So it provides value to people you are interacting with on Reddit, and it provides you or your business with inbound leads from that activity, that automation of providing information to others on Reddit. So it automates this Reddit marketing process and helps you generate more leads for your business. And also, a lot of businesses do not look at Reddit as as a medium of generating leads. But the truth is that if you actually go deeper into Reddit and you are very active on Reddit subs, you can actually generate a good number of leads from Reddit also. So you should try out this automation if you have not tried out. And the links are available in the chat box as well. I think Malvika has already shared some links. You'll just have to join our school community to get all these workflows for free. If you if you want to
Varun,
pay, yeah.
yeah, sorry for interrupting. Somebody has raised their hand.
Just a second. So I'll finish this one and answer the question. I saw Swati has raised hand. So yeah, so if you want to get all these workflows for free, you should join our community. The link is already there in the comment chat box. Yes, Swati.
Yeah, sorry to cut you. Just a quick question. For the first time I'm into that, so I got a question. So even I joined a bit late. So just a quick thing, like you're talking about some tool for the product management, right?
For product management, you said?
Yeah. So you are talking about this one. I didn't get. Maybe could you please just if you can take a 1 minute just to maybe brief this one.
Okay, I'll give you a very, very brief gist of what I'm talking about. So today's webinar is about one particular topic, which is automation for social media content creation or blogs in terms of content creation. But before we get to that part, I'm just giving you all a brief of some other automation workflows that we've already created, and you can also try to use them. So Reddit is what I was talking about. If you want to say market your business on Reddit, then you can use that automation workflow to get more leads from Reddit. So most of these automation workflows that you see are are more useful for marketing and sales teams or customer care also, if you consider the meeting transcript one. And that's, I think, like a broad level gist. I hope that gives you a better understanding.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right, yeah. Moving on, there's an AI scheduling assistant. What it does is it checks your emails. And because you cannot always be available on emails, you cannot check your emails all the time. As in when you get a request from your potential customer to schedule a meeting, right? You do not want to waste time. So what this agent does is it automatically looks through all your emails and schedules meetings, looks at your calendar, schedules meetings according to what the customer has asked for. And then it does that almost in real time. So you do not have to go back and forth discussing with the customer, saying that, hey, by the time I saw your email, my calendar was already booked out, and the same thing happens with your customer and so on. So it reduces those problems, and then you get to talk to your customer as soon as possible, right? And then there's an SDR agent, which works. So SDR is a sales development representative, right? So what it does is, again, this works on email, can also work on LinkedIn if you want. uh, so what this does is it goes through your email conversations and it checks or it understands the entire conversation that has happened with between your team or your sales team and or your marketing team and the customer, potential customer, and then it tries to understand or it tries to understand what the customer is looking for and then provides that answer automatically. So it does that conversation with the customer on email, and it also pushes the customer or the potential customer to book a meeting with your sales team. So that's the SDR agent typically. Essentially what it does is that once you have a lead, it kind of nurtures that lead to get that lead to book a meeting with your sales team on a very broad level. So that's what the SDR agent does. Now, moving on from here, if you want any of these workflows, you should join our community. The link is there in the chat box. You'll get the workflows for free there. But if you want to, I mean, if you don't join the community, then you have to pay a certain fee for every workflow. So that's that. And a little bit of book introduction about what we did in the last webinar. We host webinars almost every week or every alternate week. In the last webinar, we talked about creating marketing assets using generative AI. And since that was related to what we're going to be talking about, I just added an example of what we showed last week. This was where you have a raw product picture. You add that as your input and then give a certain or run it through a certain workflow, which turns that picture, turns that raw product image into a very nice, very attractive marketing asset. So when we say marketing asset, it's for all kinds of platforms. So you can, upload it on your e-commerce site, or you can upload it on social media, and so on. So wherever you want to market that product, you can upload it there. It'll be in those dimensions, and it can readily be used. So that's the workflow that we showed last time. And if you want to go through that webinar, we've already recorded that webinar and we have already put it up on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go through that workflow, understand how that works, and you can also use it for your products or your business, then again, you just have to go to our YouTube channel and get the latest video there. I mean, that's from the last week itself, so that'll be the latest video. The link for that is also available in the chat box. Now, moving on to what we have to talk about today is content creation, right? Now, my first question to all of you is, why do we do content creation? Why do we need to do content creation? Can someone, you can unmute yourself and share. So if you're doing content creation, you can probably share why you're doing content creation. The objectives could be different for different people. Maybe you can just share your opinion on that. Anyone?
For creating awareness of
For
product
cre-
or brand.
Okay, for creating awareness. Meenakshi also says for creating awareness. All right. So that's, in a way, I would put that in the bucket of marketing, right? You want to market your product or brand or tell people that you have this offering. Any other objective for which you create content?
To reaching out to people like an audience.
Okay, okay. And then what? I mean, reaching out for, just networking or for say trying to sell something to them or try to probably buy something from them or try to onboard vendors or what would be the next step from there?
I think it's mostly about to like build relation in the start, and then once you build relation, it eventually you can lead it anywhere.
Okay, okay, all right. Yes, Meenakshi also says to build trust and credibility. Anyone else who would like to share why you do content creation? All right, let's move on from here. So today, I mean, the main reason why we look at content creation or why we do content creation is to market our brand or our business, right? We want to tell people what our strengths are. We want to tell people how we can help them. And we want to create that thought leadership. Yes, Meenakshi also says to stand out in the noise of competitors. That's also very true. You want to make sure that your audience knows you are better than your competitors, maybe, right? So that could also be another objective why you do content creation. So everyone has their own set of objectives. We mostly look at content creation as a marketing channel by which we share information, we share guides, tutorials, and so on, and we help people. So we want to tell people that we are experts in this field, and for that reason, we create content and share the content with everyone. Right? So that's how we look at it. But everyone has their own set of objectives. Now we're going to be talking about two main things: are the challenges of content creation. I think most of us who are still in the early stages of creating content would have these questions. Those who have already created a lot of content would have gone past these questions and figured out the answers in the early stages. But the first question is, what content should I create? What is it that will engage my audience, right? What is it that puts me in a bucket where, or puts me at a stage or a level in the head of my audience, such that they think I am, or they really believe that I am good at something. So I want to create some content which is helpful for others. At the same time, it also provides credibility to what I am doing or to my business, right? So the first question is, what content should I create? And second question, if you have already figured out the first question, the second question is, how do we create that content at scale, right? First is the ideation part. You have to come up with the ideas. What is it that will be helpful for your audience? And second is, how do we create that content at scale? Because creating content takes a lot of time, right? Now, to answer the first part, it takes a little bit of research because you need to know your audience and you need to understand what your audience is looking for. Ultimately, you want to help your audience, right? And then if you help your audience, that's when they'll start following you. That's when they'll start interacting with you. So if you help your audience, if you create content which is helpful for them, obviously everyone will be interested in networking with you or following you. Once you figure that out, which is researching, right? So let's say if you have maybe 5,000 connections on your LinkedIn account and you want people to look at your content on LinkedIn, you would see what others in your connections are interacting with, what kind of content your target audience is interacting with, and then list down the top 5 things maybe which are interesting for your audience, and then start creating content around those ideas. That's one way to go about it. There's several ways to go about it, but this is, I think, the most logical way to decide what kind of content you should be creating. And second question is, how do we create content? So earlier, when AI was not there, when ChatGPT was not there in the picture, it was very difficult because we had to do a lot of research manually and then create the content ourselves. But now, with a lot of AI tools available, we can also do a lot of research automatically. We can automate the ideation part as well, and then creation of the content around those ideas as well can be automated. Now, how can it be automated? What tools you should be using? All of that. We'll move on to the next part, which will be shared by Malvika. So we'll move to the workflow that Malvika has created for content creation, and then come back to the presentation. And just to introduce Malvika, she is the AI engineer at Navan.ai. She is kind of the go-to person for any automation, any N8N automation workflows that we have to create, anything that we want to do at scale. Malvika is the right person to talk about it and seek help from. So welcome, Malvika, and thanks a lot for putting in your time to create this. Over to you.
Thank you, Varun, for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Malavika here from Navan AI. Okay, so I am going to walk you down through this content creation automation that we have built. Now, this might look a little big and scary and very complicated, but I'll just walk you down through each of the steps and how we can automate this whole content creation, right? So for anyone who doesn't have any idea about N8N, so it is basically a no-code tool where we can build agents, multi-agents, like multitask agents, right? Multiple agents, and then connect them and build very complex automations, whatever according to our use case we want, right? So here, this is the N8N platform that we have. Each of these, when you come close, you can see they are all connected. So each of these nodes are connected. So once you know the logic, once you know the structure of your automation, of your idea, that's how you start with something. Okay, say I want a form to be an input, and then once the form is submitted, I want the automation to start. So that's what I'll do. I'll have a form input, and then based on what idea I have, I go on from one node to another node and keep building and building till I have the result that I'm looking for, right? So that's how you do it. We have every automation here starts with a trigger. So triggers are like buttons for your automation that like once they begin, once they are switched on, that's when the automation starts. We have schedule triggers uh, that run the automation at specific times, like day, hour, or minute, or second, any specific time or the schedule you want the automation to run, and it will run accordingly. You have these form triggers. They're basically like your Google Forms, wherein once you submit the form, the automation starts. So that's what I'll be using today. And then as and when I go on in the automation, I'll explain each of those nodes, right? Okay, so first we have a form submission node, right? Let's look at this. So when you want to look for nodes, all you have to do here, you have a plus sign. You go there, you type the node that you want. Suppose I want a form trigger. So I type that. I have my N8N form here, and I have a trigger. So triggers is what you need. So you have your trigger, you have your next form page, a formatting, etc. You have actions and triggers for every node, right? So I choose this trigger. Now, once I go to that trigger, you have, just like any other form, you have a title you have to give, you have a form description, and you have form elements. Now, form elements, we have a variety of them here. You have check boxes, you have date, drop down, email, hidden field, number, password, etc. You have all these options here. You have to choose whatever you want, and accordingly, you build your elements. This is the name of the field that you want. This is the type, and this is just a placeholder in case you want the person to understand what kind of values go into that field, like an example, right? That's what a placeholder does. So that's how this form performs. Now let's Yes, another tip. When you are running an automation that's pretty complex like this, right? It's always better to pin your data, because I don't want to every time submit a form and run the automation. I don't want new data every time. I don't want to waste my credits, or I want that particular output to be like fixed during an automation. That's when you pin your data. So for now I have pinned it. I'll just, once I'm done explaining everything, I'll unpin and run the whole automation, so that guys can understand, right? Now I'll just execute only this. Let's see. Uh, I'll unpin this just to show you this part. Now once I execute that, uh, okay, I think I'm not sharing that part. It opens in a different window. So yes. Okay, I hope the form page is visible.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is how it looks like. This is a test version. Because of that, you have this, and even this thing that you have here, form automated with anything, you can remove that as well. It is not necessary to have that there. So this is how your form will look like. You can have multiple elements, name, email, etc., based on whatever the use case is. But right now, all I want is a user query. Now I'm telling my agent that I want a LinkedIn post for AI in finance. Now you put that, I've tried putting that into ChatGPT, and I get a very generalized response. I've even used the research option. It did look for, I think, 3 resources, but still I did not have factual data, right? I got it, but it was not up to my liking. Now this is how a form is, right? So I say the same thing like it shows in the example. I am telling it a LinkedIn post for AI in finance, and then I click submit. Now let's go to our automation. Yeah, we are back here. So as you can see here, when a particular node is executed, it appears with a green outline and it shows a tick. So that means this particular node has executed right now. And once you go to the node on the right side, you can see the output. It says a LinkedIn post for AI in finance, which is exactly what I typed in the form and submitted. So I'll pin this data. Okay. Now we'll go on to the next part of the automation. Now I am telling it, okay, a LinkedIn post for AI in finance, but that's not a query. If you have to have a query that searches for resources, data, context that you need for your automation, then you need a prompt that is able to convert this simple user query here into a search query that is optimized for Google search query, right? So that's what I've done here. This is my user prompt, and I have written a small prompt here. You can, if you're worried about the prompts and all that, so we'll be sharing this on our school community. So once you join that, you will be able to access the whole automation with the prompts. So for now, I'll just be showing it to you. So I have a very detailed prompt here. This prompt makes sure that I am able to convert a simple user query into a search query of this sort. On your left side, you'll always have your inputs of a node. On the left side, you'll have your inputs, and on the right side, you'll have your outputs. So this is the search query that I have. Now, once I have got my search query, I need context. When I am giving an agent, I'm asking it to generate a LinkedIn post, a blog post, a Twitter post, as you can see here. I have, this will be my output actually, but we'll get to that. I'm just showing it to you. So this will be my blog agent, my LinkedIn agent, my Instagram agent, my Twitter agent. If I'm giving all of them information to generate a blog or a post, then they need context. If they have to generate a blog that's too good, they need good amount of context, factual data, story, etc., right? So for that, you need to extract data that is available. You have to scrape the data from using web search. So here I've used a tool called Serper, which helps me to extract Google search results. Now we'll have two search results here. This request here searches for general articles, blog articles. Whereas this search here, it looks for LinkedIn posts. It can be LinkedIn posts, or in LinkedIn, maybe the newsletter posts, something of that sort. So we have two contexts that we have here, right? So the first one, what it does is that we are searching this user query. As you can see, I've given an input search query here. All you have to do is drag and drop it, right? Once you drag and drop, you don't need to remember writing this. Okay, there's two curly brackets, there's a dollar symbol, and this is how you structure the variable. You don't need to remember that. In Na10, it's quite easy, where you just have to drag and drop it, and you have tools to format it also. In the case where your input data is very complicated and you don't want to feed that to your node, then you can format it. Okay. So what I'm doing here is, this is a HTTP request node. I am sending a request to extract the data based on this user query. And this parameter makes sure that I'm looking at the most recent data. W here indicates the past week. You have other options, year, month, day. You can use that as well. Right now, I want W, the past week, right? And I want 10 articles.
Not able to hear.
Oh, wait. Malika lost the connection. Just a second, guys. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
Just a second.
Hi, I'm sorry, I lost connection.
Yeah,
Am I
now you're
audible?
audible.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And even my presentation is visible, right?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm sending a request. Like I said, I've sent. Okay. Now, if you see in the output, let's look at the table view, which is more easier to see, right? In the organic variable, you will see that I have 10 articles because I have requested for 10 articles. Here I have all the 10 articles. I have the title, I have my link, I have my snippet, and it also mentions the number of days back it was posted, which is 2, 3, 6, 5, which all means that it is within a week, right? So that's what I'm getting all this data there. I have the link, okay, I have the snippet, but that's it. Now that doesn't give my agent enough information. I need to know the content of those articles. So that's what we'll be doing. Going ahead, we'll be extracting the content of these articles. So for that, I'll be using another HTTP request node. Now this is simple. Previously, I had to give the header, the body, the API keys, and etc. But right now, I don't need to do that. All I have to do is the get method. The link that I have here, I have to drag and drop this link here. That's it. And once I run this node, you will be able to see a very complicated, a very messy output, I guess. Yeah, that's best to describe it. I would just have to re-execute this. Okay. Yeah, you've got this. Like, okay, now you can see this is the output that we have here, and it is not something that you can understand when you glance at it, right? It's very complicated. There's a lot of formatting, there's a lot of text, there's a lot of code that goes on between this. Now, you don't want all that. You want only the data that matters, right? You want the article main body. So in Na10, we have a node, something called the HTML to Markdown node. If you search here, you have that. See, as you can see, this is the node. What this does, it has the option to either go from Markdown to HTML or HTML to Markdown. And right now, this content is in HTML. So what I do is I feed this data as an input to this. And then once I execute this, and you will have a look at how it looks like. Just give it a few seconds. Okay, so as you can see on the left side, you have your raw content, which is very messy. There's a lot of code, a lot of formatting. No, it all doesn't make sense. And it's very, very lengthy. But on the right, the main content, it's more organized. It's more systematic. You actually can see what the content is. It's not exactly yeah, like all those messy things in between, everything is gone. You have your almost, I would say, as you can see here, introduction, AI in finance, AI and finance transforming the future of financial services. And there's text like this. And then in this article, we'll explore how AI is reshaping finance today. You have all this, etc., etc., all the data. There's good information, there's factual data, analysis, some trends, everything insights that you're talking about. Similarly, I'll do that the same thing for LinkedIn. Now, when I told you I use a user query and search, I do the same thing here. But what I will do here is I have not taken dynamic data, but all you can do is you have to just drag and drop it. Right now, I have written AI in finance, but you can use the search query itself. But when you want to look at LinkedIn, you use this for syntax here just to make sure it searches on LinkedIn. Okay, so as you can see here, once I execute this data, I have 10 articles all from LinkedIn. If you want to cross check, you can see it's from LinkedIn, 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 LinkedIn. So these are all from LinkedIn, right? Now I want to extract the content from this as well. So I'll do the same thing as I did earlier. I extract the content, convert it to Markdown, and feed it to my agent. Now we have content from articles, blog articles that are published online, and we have content from LinkedIn also. I'm going to feed all this to my agent. But one thing to remember is that right now I'm doing only for one article. And so in the output also, you might not see a very elaborate post. All what you can do here is that there is something called loop. So you can use the loop node to run through each of these articles, extract and feed. So that will be like full of information packed. So your agent will have so much context that the blog will be, everybody would think that, okay, this is definitely something that a human would have written. Okay, so once you're done with that, we'll feed it to our agent here. What this agent does is that, now this is a very huge summary. Even this is huge, right? As you can see at the end, even though we have converted to Markdown, there's some things that we don't need. Towards the end, you have the comment box, you have, uh, okay, just give me 2 minutes. I'll finish this and I'll come to the questions. You have all that. So you don't want all that. So I have asked my agent to summarize the entire content, focus on most important points or insights, and I'm giving it a few instructions. And as you can see here, it gives me a summary of what the article was about. Similarly, I have done that even here. It gives me a summary. And then I've merged it and then fed it into another agent that further summarizes the whole content. Right? I have got it from those two. I have summarized that. And as you can see here, I have a huge paragraph. I have a huge paragraph here, which basically summarizes both the LinkedIn post and the article. Okay, so I'll just stop here and I'll take the doubts. Yeah,
Yes.
Arohi.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone. Yes, yes.
Yeah, alright, go ahead. Post that. I'll.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Swati. Just wanted to confirm when you were showing about the 10 ideas when you give prompt about, right? You give prompt about 10 ideas?
No, no, no.
When,
You
okay.
mean in the user query here?
I mean, yeah, no, no, no. After that, when you were showing that this is such a cluttered idea, a lot of technical jargons, when you were discussing about that,
Yeah,
so yeah, this all information.
yeah.
Was it about 10 ideas? Like, is it, or is it, was it just focused on one idea and gave blog about that?
Okay, so this is basically, it extracts the raw HTML content. When you post a blog on the internet, uh, what
Okay.
you see is in Markdown format, a very user readable format. But this
Right.
is the backend code of that content.
Mhm. Okay,
So
so
what I'm
whatever the, hmm, sorry.
no the for that article, I'm extract only for, I've taken example of only one. I've taken one article and extracted all that content, that so all that code in the background that goes on to any content that you post on the internet, any article. What you see in the front is a systematic format, but this is what is there in the background for it to look that pretty.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay, so
Yeah,
how is it different from, so like suppose when we gave a prompt of like write a LinkedIn post, right? So how is
right.
it different and unique to us giving prompt to directly to ChatGPT and through your like interface?
Okay, so I had tried the same prompt using ChatGPT. I had told, okay, create a LinkedIn post for AI in finance. So it gave me a very general response.
General.
It
Okay.
gave me, okay, it talked generally about this so and so, this is how it's going to be, or this is how it is, and all that. What this automation does is that uh, when we extract the data, we are giving context, we are extracting from sources. We have we have, okay, if I extract 10 articles from here, 10 from here, I have 20 articles in hand. Now the 20 articles might be talking about various things in AI and finance. So now all that information I am feeding to my agent to generate a blog that's much better than what it would generate, like using ChatGPT in general.
Got it. Okay, I'm sorry to ask a lot of follow-up question. I'm a
No,
bit
that's okay.
loose on technical aspect. So what we are doing over here is like, suppose I liked 10 blogs and
Right.
I want like my blog to be written in this reference. So we are giving 10 blogs as a reference to your portal, and then it will generate customized, personalized blog of one blog. Is that so? Is it correct?
No, no. All you have to do here is you have that form that I showed. All you have to do is you have
Right.
to type this. It will take care of everything else.
Okay,
It
so
will
we just
search.
need to. Hmm.
Yeah.
So like how is it like coming to my expectation if I'm not giving it a reference? Like how is your portal taking reference? Okay, this person needs this kind of log. We'll have to input something, right?
Oh, uh, could you maybe like? I'm not
Yeah.
getting what you
Okay, okay.
exactly asked.
Yeah. So it's like what I'm confused about is like suppose you mentioned that I do not have to give 10 blocks reference, right?
Yes.
So just by submitting form and letting the portal know that okay, I want this LinkedIn post, how does it
Yes.
know that this is what Arohi wants and this is how the block should be? Is there any way or any point of time where you're giving inputs or we are training the agent or something like that? Like how is it trained?
Okay. So the agent that writes the blogs at the end is trained based on all this data that I'm giving it. uh, you can, like you said, you can even input 10 blogs if that's what you want.
Hmm.
But the main thing is that the prompt that's there here, you have a writing agent here. So if
Okay.
you have a specific way of writing, so like you said, if you want the agent to understand, okay, this is how ROE writes. So
Hmm.
that's where you write it in this prompt. This is fixed. You don't need to write it every time. When you go to chat gpt, you might have to specify every time, okay, this is what I
Right.
want, this is what I don't want. What I am doing here is I do not need to do that every time. I don't need to tell that this is how I want, this is how I don't want. I am giving it context. I am asking it to plan the blog based on how I like my blog plan. I am asking it to write the content accordingly. And I am also asking it to generate the meta descriptions, the slugs, and etc. for that blog, generate the image,
Got it.
and then store
Got
it
it.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, getting it. Just to confirm, last thing. So if I go through your portal, so it's like
Okay.
for the initial time, I'll have to make it understand. Okay, this is how I want to write my social media post or any type of content. And once I done do it, the rest I'm done with my job, right? Like
You
I
don't
just have
need
to
to,
then.
like, you don't need to train that. Now these prompts I have actually used, these work. Like, if you can see, let's come to the LinkedIn post. uh, any good LinkedIn post based on the good, like what prompt engineering techniques and the good way of writing a LinkedIn post, I have written this prompt. So you would not have to write another one. But if you need any variations in this, you want to write it differently, then you can do that. For example, a good LinkedIn post goes like, you have a headline, you have an opening hook that excites them, you have a storytelling part, you have a content flow, you have emojis, hashtags added, and all these points. So I'm making sure my agent, you don't need to train it anything. Even when you use this automation, when you will use it for your like your page, your company, your brand, you don't need to do anything. It will follow uh, this agent. And this
No,
that
like
we
just
have.
for the initial time when I'm getting an access of your portal, for the
Yes,
first time we'll have to feed in data, right? Okay, this is what my company wants social media post to be following. So initially we will have to input data,
yes,
like
yes, yes. If
yeah.
you don't have to train it, but all you have to do is maybe like variation in the prompt based on your brand image.
Okay. I'm just
Just to make it
yeah.
simpler, I'll just add this.
Yeah.
So Aru, the basic guidelines are already given. Those are already set in the workflow. If you want to change something, so what you can do is you can try out the workflow as it is first. If you don't like something and you want to change a few things, then only you need to change the prompt. If you're okay with the output, you can just use it as it is.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, got it. I was just getting confused that if that, I mean, the agent or whatever we call it as, if it's bringing in the blogs or any kind of post according to us, then initially for the first time we are feeding in data, right? I mean, that's how it's able to generate kind of post which I like. That was my only confusion. But I think, yeah, for the initial time we are feeding in data. That's what I,
Yeah. So here I think it's like Malvika has asked you to create something for finance, right? So
right.
those things essentially you might have to set up. That is small modifications.
Got it. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hope that answered your doubt.
Yeah, yeah, it did. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Swati.
Yes, Malvika. So actually, I'm seeing this flow for the first time. So I'm working in a marketing communication profile. So it would
Okay.
be great, like if you conduct some session like this, especially this agent, like how to kind of create this small and basic agents and how to make it connected through these nodes and all. So this flow I could understand, but the basic things like how to connect all this and how to do that. So for that, maybe I would need your help. If not today, maybe if something, some other dates happening, that will be grateful.
So Swati, let's do this. You can join our community, and
Yeah,
then we can have a discussion on the community.
yeah,
Malvika is
yeah.
also there. All
I
of us are
have
also there.
joined. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
cool.
I have
So
joined.
yeah, so we can plan it out on the community. Then everyone will benefit from that.
Yeah, done, done. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So once we have all your data summarized here, I am asking my agent to decide. Uh, just FYI, there are various agents here. You can name them so that you don't get confused. All of these agents, they follow these OpenAI models, right? There are multiple OpenAI models. Right now, mine works on a very simpler model, 4.0 mini, but there's 4.5 that's new. There's 5. There's many more models. Each of those models, they have a different functionality. So I think 4.1 mini is also good for writing. So you can choose that when you want to use this agent uh, for like when you use it, right? So there's like around 12 agents, if I'm not wrong. Each of those agents do a different task here. One does planning, writing, one is the SEO agent, the LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter agent. So each of these agents do a particular job. So right now we have discussed these two that summarize the articles, Google articles. This summarizes the LinkedIn post, and I'm giving it information, summarizing the entire context. And I'm asking my agent to decide if it's a blog post or if it's not. If it's a blog post, then the loop I have here. Okay, so okay, as you can see in my prompt, I have given that if it's a social media post, then this will be my output value, and if it's a blog post, then this will be my output value. So right now I had asked for a LinkedIn post, which is why a social media post is my output, right? So based on this output, this is called an if node. Now if node is a condition node that decides that if this value satisfies this value, then you go into this branch. If this value doesn't satisfy this value, then you go into the other branch. Now, what I am telling it is that this output that I have here, if it is equal to a blog post, then it goes into the upper branch. And if it is not, it goes into the lower branch. So in the upper branch, you have your planning agent, you have your writing agent. Each of these have different functionalities. Okay. So each of these has different functionalities. Now I'm telling a planning agent that you are a content strategy assistant. So this prompt I have given, I've given the system prompt. I've given it a role. So it's always better for your agent to have a role, because that way they perform, they know what they are and how they have to perform, right? So this is always advised. And once you have that, you have your user prompt. You will give it instructions. You give it instructions as to how you want it, right? How you want your planned output to be. So what I have asked is that based on the input materials that I have there, identify the target audience, extract the key insights or trends, propose a blog title, draft 4 or 6 sections outline, just the outline, suggest the tone and SEO keywords, and how the output should be structured and concise, etc., etc. So now, as you can see in my output, I have a title, I have an audience, I have key insights that it has taken from those articles. Right now, again, it looks very generalized because there's only one article for reference. There's tone, there's outline, where I have defined the sections that I want in my blog, and I have my SEO keywords. Now, one way you can make this automation better than ChatGPT or any of those other tools out there is that you, like I talked about here, you have SEO keywords, right? I'm asking you to generate SEO keywords, but you have SEMrush. You can attach a SEMrush node after this, making sure that it will generate SEO optimized keywords that are much better. I'm sure all of you are aware of SEMrush, right? So you can use that. That will make your agent even better. So finally, when you have your blog created by your writing agent, it will have all those SEO optimized keywords, enabling your blog to stand out, right? So once I have planned the outline, planned all the details, then I'm feeding it to my writing agent. I am asking it, I'm giving it a set of instructions, I'm telling it the output format, and I have generated the agent here. As you can see, it's not a very readable format right now. I'll just show it in the sheet when I put it there. So yeah, a very long article that's there here. And as you can see, there's markdown format here also. So this is called the markdown format. You have hashtags, you have the /n, and you, for italics and bold also, you have certain formats. Now I don't want all that, so I can just remove that. And then my SEO agent, what it does is that it will give me image ideas. It will give me the slug, the meta description, the meta tags, etc. Now, why I need an image idea is that you have your blog. So you need an image for that. So you need a good image for that, which is why I'm asking it that based on the content of my blog, please generate an image, right? I'm pretty sure you're aware of GPT Image One, OpenAI's image model. So I use that image and I'm generating image for that blog that I have here, upload it to my drive, and then finally store that link in my sheet. So this is how I have all that information. Again, I know that you might feel that, okay, there's still manual work left. But that's why this tool like N8N is very powerful. You have Phantom Buster, that is another tool for auto scheduling all your posts. So even though you feel that this agent ends here, you can make it more customized. You can add a Phantom Buster node here. You can schedule your posts so that you don't need to do anything. All you have to do is, okay, you decide I need a blog. So you fill up the form, you say, I need a LinkedIn post for AI and finance. And that's it. It'll search for content. It'll search for context, LinkedIn posts, articles, so much information. It will plan, it will write, it will create an SEO optimized blog. And if you have automated posting also added, then that's it. You literally don't need to do anything else. you have a full information packed blog posted wherever you want it. I think WordPress, yeah, you can post it on WordPress. Now, if it's not a blog that you want, if it's a LinkedIn post that you want, then I'm asking it based on the user query to decide if it's a LinkedIn post, an Instagram post, or a Twitter post that the person wants. Now, based on the medium, this medium of posting, wherever they want it, this is called a switch node. Now, when we talked about an if node, there are only two logics to it, either a true or a false. But for switch, we have custom logics. I can have three, four, five, six, even seven like outputs here, seven channels that I want. So right now I want only LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. And I can change the names. I can put it as LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter to understand. And each of these outputs, what it does is that I have my LinkedIn post here. So, like I talked about in Markdown, you have the hashtags, you have these asterisk symbols. All these are Markdown formats for bold and italics and headings and all those, right? But unfortunately, when you do the schedule posting, you cannot directly this markdown doesn't work on LinkedIn. So what you can do is instead of using these asterisks, you can change it to say an interesting emoji that will also be very attractive. So what I did is a very simple code, nothing complex. When you have access to this agent, you'll have access to this code also. So you don't need to remember. What I've done is that I've removed all these symbols that can be a hindrance to my post or a blog. I have removed all that, exchanged that with emojis or spaces or something more creative. Once I've exchanged, removed all that, made sure that there's no other issue in that, I have, similar to the above procedure, generated an image, stored it in Google Drive, uploaded to Sheet. This agent does this so far. Again, you can have the Phantom Buster that schedules your posts and posts it. So you don't really need to do anything at all in between. You have an Instagram agent. Like I talked about, I have a very detailed prompt for each of these LinkedIn post, Instagram post, Twitter agents. So you don't need to do anything, literally, because you have all these prompts here. So it will generate posts according to that. It will generate the images according to your post, and you'll have it all stored. I have an example here. I'll just show that to you. As you can see, I had generated a post earlier for LinkedIn, and so this is what it said. Now, as you can see, is AI the future of finance? Spoiler, it already is, and it has given me a short intro and a few points and a CTA so that people can interact. What are your thoughts on AI revolution in finance? Right? You have all this information here. One key point is that normally these kind of dashes are what do you say, it's kind of an indication of an AI generated content. So if you don't want that, also in the code that I showed you, you can add a small part of it to make sure you don't have such symbols also. Then you have your content, and after that you have, I'm sorry, you have your content and you have your image here. Let's just go to the image. Okay, I think you're able to see. Yeah. So as you can see, this was the image that was generated for an AI in finance post. I had given it a prompt that based on the post, it will generate the image. So that's what it did. So when we go back, yeah. Yeah. So when we go back, you have an image, you have your post, you have your platform. You have all this ready. If you want schedule posting, like I said, you just have to use Phantom Buster and you have to schedule them. So it's as simple as that. In this whole automation, the only thing that you would have to do is have a user query. You have to have an idea. You want, say, a LinkedIn post for AI in finance, and you can do that. That's all, as simple as that. So yeah, I'm done. If anybody has anything to ask regarding the entire automation or anything else, please go ahead.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you can just unmute yourself and ask away.
Yeah. Okay. Just one thing before anybody else has anything to ask. Like I said, you can add a SEMrush option for your SEO optimized keywords, or you can have Phantom Buster for schedule posting. So all these are to make this even more compact, even more advanced automation, so that, like, yeah, it's like a much better automation than this, right? You also, yeah, I forgot to include, you can also have domain authority included. Now, if you are not sure of the credibility of these articles that are generated, you have tools that are available. You can add those nodes also to check the domain authority, make sure they're above a value that you appreciate. And then you can make sure those articles follow that, so that your content is like, you're sure that the content is good, right? Yeah. And another point before Varun takes over, even for the LinkedIn posts that are there, if for that also you want to add credibility, you want to see how good that is, you can extract the likes, comments, followers of that. But that's again a little complex part. But I'm just telling about all the additions that you can make to this automation. Yeah, that's it from my side. If anybody has anything to ask, please go ahead.
That was wonderful, Malvika. Very informative. Thanks a lot. Any questions regarding everything that we've discussed so far?
Hi, Malvika. Thanks for sharing. Um, my question is like, what kind of maintenance would this like automation require? Like, how often would you have to like go and tweak the prompts, or when will it get like obsolete, or uh, when will it require changes?
Okay, so in terms of maintenance, if you have a specific prompt, I don't think you need to go and make tweaks. When you have a structure in mind, you have a prompt in mind, you just have to give that and done. I don't think you need to even, there is any such maintenance that is required unless and until you're not satisfied with your output. Say maybe you have a month, you post different blogs, you don't post different posts and all that, and now you want to change the tone of how your posts and blogs sound. You go back, tweak it a little, and then that's it. These prompts are fixed, so you don't need to do anything.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Someone else also raised their
Hello.
hand.
Yeah.
Hi, Kim.
I have
Yeah.
hi, Raren. Hi, Mar. So, I just have a quick question.
Yeah,
So, just to clarify, so when I have the access to the platform, so like, are all of those structures are already there, or like, do I have to like set up at the beginning, like everything, like the triggers and everything? So, do I have to set up by my own, or like when I access to the platform, it's already there?
So actually this platform, you have to, there are two options. This is a tool in A10. This is a no code tool. So there are two ways of having that on your system. One is there is a cloud option wherein you can, there's I think a 20 euro subscription for using this tool. Uh, Once you have that on your cloud, you can just uh, download this file. I'll just show that. Just a second. Uh, okay, here you have an option in this three dots that you have here. You have an option to download. So you will have a file when you get your subscription of N8N. All you have to do is import from file option and then select that file, and you have all this here. You don't need to add or do anything. All this will already be here. And if your company has a server of their own that can, where anything can be hosted, the tool, it has an option of self-host also. So if your server has that option, then we can do that also for you, so that you can have the N8N on your local, and then just the similar thing that I just showed. You just download it and then you import the file. I hope that's
Just,
what you.
just
Yeah.
I think a very basic level information here. N8N is one of the automation platforms that we're using. So we don't own N8N. We're not really associated with N8N. It's just a platform that we're using to build the automations. The automation is built by us, but N8N is an independent platform. When you post something on N8N Cloud, you have to pay the fee to N8N. Like Malvika said, it's around 20 euros a month. And if you're using the community version of N8N, which is hosted on your website, or sorry, on your server, then it's free of cost. You don't have to pay anything to N8N. So that's N8N. And it's very similar to Zapier or Make.com if you've used any of those platforms.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any more questions? Or any feedback also, if you have. All right. So I assume there are no more questions right now. And so thank you all for joining. It was great having you all, and hope to see you again in our next webinars or meetups. And at least I hope you've joined our community so that we can keep interacting. We'll be posting all the resources, which is the recording, the files, the needed workflow, all of that onto the community. So hope you've joined. Thank you again, and have a good day.